Hi, Neil Gittleman here, retired conductor of your Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra with another piano bench chat. And I've been retired for a few months, so I have no idea what number this is in the piano bench chat archive. But whatever the last one was, this is that one plus one. And that was music by a good friend of mine, Steve Winteregg. It's the last minute or so of a brand new piece that he wrote for the Dayton Philharmonic called Dante's Journey, a concerto for orchestra. And it's a piece that I will be conducting with the Philharmonic when I return to the Schuster Center podium on October 3rd and 4th for a program called With Friends, for Friends. This piece is really all about friendship, both personal and concert-wise and musical. It goes back actually to Steve Winteregg. A few years ago, when I announced that I'd be retiring from the Dayton Philharmonic in a few years, Steve and I had lunch, and Steve said, I'd like to write a piece for the orchestra in honor of your retirement and in honor of you. And I said, well, that's a very nice idea, but can you do it not so much in honor of my retirement and in honor of me, do it in honor of the orchestra. And he said, okay, sure. And he had an idea for what he wanted to write. It was a piece called Dante's Journey, based on the Divine Comedy by Dante. And it would have three movements, which would of course be Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradise. And I thought, that's an interesting idea. But I said, Steve, would you do me a favor? Can you make it a concerto for orchestra? Because I wanted the focus to be on the orchestra and not on me and my retirement. And Steve said, sure, and that's what he did. He wrote a concerto for orchestra inspired by Dante, and everyone in the orchestra gets a chance to shine, and the whole orchestra gets to shine as a group. And what I played you was the very, very end of the Paradise movement. And I wanted to play it because I think Steve did something really amazing there. He captured in music what I imagine Paradise would be, that it's very beautiful, it's serene, there's no sense of time, and it really has a kind of infiniteness to it. And it's going to be a very beautiful ending to a very beautiful piece. There are actually 3 world premieres on the program. Steve's piece closes the first half. The concert opens with a brand new piece by Austin Jaquith, another friend of mine, another friend of the orchestra, who's written quite a few pieces for us. And his piece is inspired by Gustav Mahler. And he wanted to write a piece like Mahler. Mahler believed that every symphony, and he wrote 9 of them, every symphony should contain the world. And Austin's piece, Containing the World, tries to do that in about 8 minutes, because that's, I said, 8 or 10 minutes is the length that we need for this program. And Austin took the challenge and did a wonderful thing with this piece that he wrote. But there was a catch. Austin wanted to use a particular thing that Mahler had used, the hammer. Now, this goes back to Mahler's 6th symphony, which is known as the Tragic Symphony. And in the final movement of that symphony, there are 3 hammer blows. And Mahler didn't say what you were supposed to do here, but he said he wanted it to be a wooden sound. So usually what orchestras do is they come up with a really big wooden hammer, and that's what's used for these 3 blows of fate, which actually inspired the symphony, because there were 3 things in Mahler's life that happened to him, and he felt like the whole world was collapsing. And some years ago, when we performed the Mahler 6th Symphony here in Dayton, Bert Seidel and his God Squad created an amazing big-ass hammer that Michael Lamattina would bang on an amazing big-ass box to make this sound. And so Austin really wanted to use it, and I said, okay, but Mahler used his hammer for tragic purposes, the hammer of fate beating him down. I said, you can write a piece that uses the Mahler hammer, but you have to use it joyfully and exuberantly. And Austin did it. You'll hear that at the beginning of the concert. The third brand new piece on the program is a very short piece which will serve as the encore for the evening by my dear friend Michael Shelley, who's written a bunch of pieces that the orchestra has played, including some world premieres. A lot of Mike's pieces are very gnarly and abrasive and aggressive and very driven. And I said to Mike, well, actually, no, Mike said to me, he wanted this piece to be different. He wanted it to be short and sweet and nostalgic. And that's what he did. He wrote us a very beautiful piece for strings, harp, and a little bit of percussion to close the evening. And in addition to those 3 brand new pieces, which we'll play at the concert with Friends for Friends, is a piece that I always wanted to be on my final concert with the orchestra, the Enigma Variations by the British Romantic composer Edward Elgar. It's a set of variations on a theme that Elgar wrote, 14 variations, each of which is a character portrait of someone that Elgar knew. It's a piece about friendship, turning his friends into musical portraits. And I thought, what better way to wrap up this 3 decades long friendship that I've had with the orchestra and with you than to play Elgar's Enigma Variations. So we start with Austin's piece, then we'll hear Steve's. After intermission, we'll hear the Enigma Variations, and then as an encore, if you applaud enough, so please applaud enough, Mike's piece called Exist to close the evening. The concert is at the Schuster Center coming up October 3rd and 4th. I hope you will be there to celebrate your Dayton Philharmonic Orchestra and all the great music that the orchestra has played over the past 30 years. And that's my piano bench chat for my first piano bench chat for my retirement. As I said back in the spring, as ideas come to me, I will put some things together and post them both on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, and please join us on Friday or Saturday, October 3rd or 4th, or both. Why not? Take care.